Hey there guys, and welcome to another episode of Let's Speedrun Link's Awakening DX 100%. So in the last episode, we covered quite a few things. We covered wall clipping, shoplifting, moblin skip, owl skip, log cavern, lots of stuff. Quicksword, you know, the whole deal. This episode, we are going to be finishing, or taking on Dungeon 1. And there are actually a good number of things we're going to be covering in this episode as well. But it hopefully should be shorter than the last one. So, first things first, when you walk into a dungeon, that text box comes up. Now, you can skip that by either saving, quitting, or using the save and quit menu, or pausing in the inventory screen. It is faster to do this only if you already want to change your equips at the beginning of the dungeon. So if you have the equips you need, like if I had sword and shield out right now, it would not be faster for me to bring up my inventory screen, but because I need my shield, I am going to want to time out my equip so that I can do it in such a way that I skip the text box. So it looks something like this. And there you go. So text box is changed, and I changed my equip. This one is pretty simple because you can just time it to the music. Da 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 bup bup. Like, you know, bring up the pause menu on one of them, and then on the next one you just change to shield. So that is that. Oh, I want to avoid this guy if possible. It's pretty easy to avoid him. Just walk a little farther up, slash that guy off, hit this. Make sure you remember to cancel the text box for this key. Charge up a spin slash, and you want to enter this room like this, and wait ever so slightly before you release the spin slash. You ideally want to kind of you don't have to be wall clipped in, I don't think, but it helps get those lower row of bats. If you spin slash too early, you'll kill like these two, but you won't kill these two, in which case you can just kind of go down and spin slash him. So like this, and then I don't know. It's not a big deal, but that's kind of the optimal strat, is to do something like that, you know. This guy is a big troll. His RNG is random. You can do a couple of different boosts through this room. You can like take a hit from this guy and still walk over the pit, but it takes a full heart of damage, and so what I usually do is I just avoid him and do this. It's much safer and a lot easier. So coming up here, we have this room, which has some RNG to it. Like how far these guys move is random, or which direction they move is random. So you just kind of have to learn the enemy patterns and learn how to deal with each type of RNG. And if you get that type of RNG where they're both up here and you have to come all the way over here to spin slash them, the faster thing to do, as opposed to go all the way around like this, the fast way to do this is just kind of walk across the corner like this. It's not super precise, but it can also get you to fall in the pit, so it's something worth noting though. If you don't feel comfortable with it, it's perfectly fine to just walk all the way around until you do get comfortable with it. So now we are going to be going and getting the Rock's Feather, which is a very, very fun, unique item in this game. We are also going to be doing another damage boost. This one is a lot less difficult than Moblin Skip, but if you're low on health, you might not want to go for it. If you have 1.5 hearts, you can die from it. If you take the hit and fall into the pit, you can die from this damage boost, but it's not too hard to get. But it also doesn't save too much time, so worth noting, but it looks something like this. You just need to, once you start crossing the pit, you just move over to the right a little bit. I like to be wall clipped into this wall, just to set it up, but I don't think it's necessary. And ideally, I'm getting actually kind of a slow damage boost. If I delay it a little bit more, see, that would have killed me with 1.5 hearts. If I delay it a little more, there, I can actually get not just boosted to the left, but also boosted forward. So then that saves a little time. But with that, now we're going to go ahead and get Rock's Feather. Something to note for new runners, if you are low on health here or you feel uncomfortable, it's totally fine to come back down here and grab this heart before saving and quitting, because that's the next thing we want to do. But if you feel okay on health or just feel confident, you can, whoops, just open the chest and save and quit. And that's that. Also, something to note with saving and quitting. Your cursor will always reset to the top left position whenever you save and quit, so that's something to keep in mind for your menus. So here, we want to charge a spin slash, deal with this room the same way. Also something to note, every time a door closes in this game, there's like a little bit of lag where Link can't move. I believe with 2 doors like this, it's like 14 frames that Link can't move. So in this case, just for positioning sake, I don't jump upon entering this room, but in a lot of other cases throughout the run, I will be jumping when doors close, and I'll kind of point those out for the rest of this dungeon as it happens. But anyway, this room, we want to make sure that we kill this mini Moldorm. You do not want to knock him into the pit, because if you do, this treasure chest will disappear and you'll have to kill the Moldorm again. So, let's see. Here, what you would want to do is kind of shoot a bomb arrow while you're in the air. And this equip, for beginners, I'm going to recommend just equip Sword and Feather here, not Bow and Feather. Equipping Bow here will save about 2 seconds optimally, but the arrow route in this category is very, very tight. So if you waste even a single arrow, then you are going to have to... You'll lose a lot of time later on, basically. So for the sake of this, I'm going to put on Bow and Feather, because that's what I do. But if you're new, just put on Shield and Feather. Sword and Feather, because it's just easier. Also, for any of you who do opt to use Bow, you can open chests in this game with A or B, as you see in the input display right there. So throughout this whole section, I just make sure that I open all my chests with B, just in case I misalign myself on the chest, and that way I won't risk wasting an arrow. So jump over this guy, come in here, and there you go, you're good. So coming up here, we have our first example of super jumps. Super jumps are a very interesting mechanic, and it's one of the first places where wall clipping is pretty required. So here, you wall clip into this from below, right here. So you can see my feet are kind of in the wall. This wall clip is not super precise. I think you only need to be 1 pixel wall clipped, as opposed to the maximum 3. But anyway, basically, I don't know how super jumps work exactly, but it is in terms of how it works within the game logic. But the way you execute them is if you're wall clipped into a wall, you jump towards a wall, and then at some point within the height of the jump, or near the peak of the jump, you press the opposite direction, the direction you want to jump, and either swing your sword, magic rod, or fire an arrow off. This is the reason I recommend beginners use sword here, because if you miss a single super jump, then you're going to be in a much tighter arrow situation, and that's a bad time. So super jump looks something like this, like that. The timing on this one is not super tight. Like, you can do it pretty early, pretty late. So mostly it's just getting that wall clip quickly and trying to, let's see, trying to do it fast. Sometimes it's just like that down to up input can be kind of rough. So, but that's your first super jump. We skip opening this key block, which is a very good thing. Oh, and see, that's why I usually like to jump, or use the, use the feather, or the B button to open chests. That was my bad. So, there we go. And now, in order to avoid this key block again, we just wall clip in here, hold down right and jump, and you'll just jump right over. Now coming up here is what I consider to be one of the hardest super jumps in the game. Not that it's horribly hard in terms of actually executing the jump itself. Also, because I save stated, I'll just kill that guy. Basically, the thing that makes this tough is you need to wall clip in here, and this block right here won't work. You can't super jump from here. You have to be at least about like here in order to get this super jump. And the reason this is tough is that you have a limited amount of time to actually line it up before the keys like runs into you, which can make it kind of scary. So that one's just going to take a little practice, and like with a lot of stuff in this game, a lot of the small tricks and optimizations, just as long as you don't, if you can't get it, you can just walk around. It's super jumps, at least this super jump is very, very small in terms of time save. So if you really are having trouble with it, don't worry about it. Just walk around until you get the timing. Here is mini boss. You want to have arrows equipped coming in here, so if you were using the sword, you would equip arrows now. And basically just buffer an arrow coming in here. Oh, wow. I actually messed that fight up. That's never happened before. Oops. Okay. So, what that's supposed to look like is this. There we go. Once you start screen transitioning, you buffer an arrow and then shoot another one off. If you're low on health, you can grab that fairy. And now we continue on with the run. And here is Moldorm. I just canceled a text box by bringing up my inventory screen, and I'm changing to sword because that's what I need here. Moldorm can be a tough boss to kind of get used to, but the general idea is that you want to jump over the head and slash the tail. So, and that's why Moldorm can be tough. Very RNG with the movement. That's kind of the backup strat. If you fall down, you hold up and feather, and that should be good. But yeah, Moldorm can be really annoying if she just kind of hugs that top wall like that. Sometimes it's just impossible to get a hit in on her. So, and there is one thing to note. If she starts coming down towards you when you bring up your inventory screen, it is possible to charge a spin slash and get 2 hits in on her. But that's kind of situational, and when you're just starting, it might be better to just go for the 4 slashes every time for consistency's sake. That fight's going to just take some practice, really, to get very good at, and even when you are good at it, sometimes she just trolls you. So, coming up here is the instrument. Usually we split when we touch the instrument, and also I will be buffering a jump out of this like that to avoid the lag of the door closing. So that is Dungeon 1, pretty much. This, wow, ended up being a much longer episode than I expected it to be totally honest. But I guess I had a lot to say. So, next episode for sure shouldn't be that long. Hoping for under 10, but we will see. I have a tendency to over-explain things, but hopefully not to the point of boring you guys. So that's going to do it for this episode of Let's Speedrun Link's Awakening DX 100%. And in the next episode, we will be saving Bow Wow, getting photos, and moving on over to Dungeon 2. So thanks everyone so much for watching, and I will see you next time.